Well, there's an interesting one. I was just doing a wee video there about that anxiety, and a fella walks by me and says, "Oh, how you doing? I'm just watching your video." So that was quite funny. That was quite funny how that happened. Aye, interesting. It just timing, the right timing. So, yep, anxiety's a funny old thing. And just to elaborate on that, even the most highly trained, strongest of people, like modern day athletes. I mean, some modern day athletes are built like gladiators and stuff, and they all have anxieties. They have anxieties brought on by thoughts of failure, stuff like that, you know, not being successful, losing their number one spot, you know, losing their mantle. Boxers having anxiety about being beaten and losing belts and sponsorships and stuff like that. It's all triggers for anxiety. And the amount of people that don't like to admit to having them is quite frightening. It's another taboo that we need to smash. It's another one of these things where people feel shame because of it. That's a crazy mindset in itself, because that's a further anxiety. You're actually worrying about worrying almost. You're worrying about the reason that you've got anxiety, so you're adding fuel to the fire all the time. It is a constant ripple effect. You're just bootlegging the one in front constantly. You're giving yourself all of these worries and all of these fears for no real reason. Everybody gets it. Everybody's got it. Everybody gets it. And when you can speak to people like high-level soldiers, high-level athletes, you know, that have accomplished lots of things in life, authors, they've made it onto the television, they're doing shows, and all of these guys have all written books, and in their books you won't be far into the chapters where you'll come across a chapter where they are basically acknowledging that they have anxiety, and you'll be astonished and you'll be saying, surely this person can't be having that, can't be feeling the same thing as me. Doesn't matter who you are, what walk of life you're from, what you've accomplished, what you've achieved, what you haven't achieved. Everybody suffers from these things, and it might be small, or it could be on a large scale, but I guarantee you everybody's got something going on. So don't put yourself in the category where you think you're different to your mate, or you think your mate's not having a bad day, or you think your mate's not worried about every single small thing. When you add them all together, they become a big problem. But when you break them all down, they're all really small, insignificant issues that when you repeatedly analyse them and dissect them and scrutinise them, they just become major and they overwhelm you. So you have to go back to the fundamentals. You've got to look at the basics and say, well, what is it that's causing my grief? What is giving me the bad days? What's giving me the fear? What are my worries? What are my woes? And break it down into, write it all down, and then score them off the list and say, well, that doesn't really matter. Neither does that, you know, okay, this one's maybe going to be an issue, and concentrate more effort on the ones that are important. But see if you can score 5 or 6 little problems off the list, you're really going to lighten your day up. Remember, everything that I do is in its basic form, because I'm not that bright. So, and I'm not a trained expert. I probably don't understand a lot of what gives me things to think about. You know, so I do it all in the basic form. I do it all in layman's terms. You'll hear me repeating that. Get back to the basics, guys, and get really down to the bottom of who, what, why and when. Sort those little problems out, separate them, score the really small, insignificant ones off the list, and deal with the important stuff, and that will lighten the load automatically. So there you go, and that's part 2 of the video. So I wish you well with it, and I'm pretty sure if you can stick to the basics, you'll get there, and that's important. Alright, brilliant. Thank you very much for listening. Cheers.